Hello, so this is kind of an introduction to my channel since this is my first video, but it's really talking about the Canyon. And so this is like a $50 knife, or I think it's like 35 or 40 or something like that if you get it on Amazon. And a lot of people are recommending this as like the best knife to get for budget. And I'd personally just like to say, like, I'm also a new flipper. I'm not very good. But out of the knives that I've tried, I would personally recommend getting a different knife like the Falcon if you're fine with ordering knives off not Amazon. Like if you're planning on buying the Canyon off their Nabalis website so you can get the false edge, I would recommend getting a blade like, or I would recommend getting a knife like the Falcon, which I have over here, which in my opinion sounds better, feels like it's built better, and it's for around the same price. It's like $45 or something like that, if you're okay with getting it off another website. And I personally, like, I think this is built better, sounds better, like, versus this knife, which so that's my personal opinion. I've also tried like cracking clones and whatnot, and personally I would say that I prefer to use the Falcon. Like that's kind of my go-to out of my knives. I've also tried like knives like this is a clone by the one of the Chab or Channel Alpha Beast, which this is probably my favorite knife, but this is also a live blade, so I don't use it as crazily. But I personally would recommend a knife like this, the Falcon by the one. If you compare, this one has tap. It's very noticeable too. Other people don't, but have tap, but I do. I've also had this way longer than I've had this. This knife, you can't hear it, but there is a little tap, but that's also just because I don't have the tolerance as good. Tolerance is on this, when I tighten it all the way, so it's tap. This, it does not. But it also is kind of an unfair comparison because if you look at the knives, the blade thickness on the Falcon is significantly, well, not significantly, but pretty decently thicker than the blade on the Canyon, which is because this is stainless steel, so they have to make it thinner for the weight. At least I believe. I could be wrong. But that in combination with how much thicker the gap in the handle is compared to the Falcon gives it a huge advantage in terms of tap, because the Falcon has a much tighter fit. So there's a lot less space for the blade to fit in, and the blade's also thicker, which makes it way less room for it to move. And if you look at tap, you can see that this has like, or not tap, play. This is not that much tap, but still some. This has even less. So I would say like the tolerances on this knife are better, and I like how the sound is built better. But if you're not fine with ordering a knife off AliExpress and you're going to buy a knife on a website like Amazon, then I would recommend going for a knife like the Canyon or maybe the Volp. I haven't tried the Volp, so I can't say. And I'm also a beginner, so I don't really have, like, my opinions could be very bad because I'm not very far into the hobby and I don't really know what I'm doing. But in my personal opinion, for what I've tried as a newer flipper, that's what I think. And yeah, that's all I really wanted to say for the video.